is Davy Chams, coming live from Adams Arcade, AZ Plaza next to House of Leather. Maybe if you're new, first time watching this channel, consider subscribing, like, watch and share. Today I'm having my guest here with a very, very inspiring story. Imagine sinking yourself in alcoholic life to an extent, going to a rehab 2 times. So that's the story of my guest today. Without further ado, allow me to let my guest introduce himself. Bro, introduce yourself to viewers.
My name is Mr. Frederick, a recovering addict, still struggling.
Okay, Mr. Frederick Omondi, those are your names. Where is Omondi? Like maybe born, raised up on the,
I was born in Kakamega in the year 1984, date 8th, month April. Currently I'm 37, turning 38 next year, April.
What are you doing for a living, Mr. Omondi?
I'm a lecturer in a technical institution called PC Kinyanjui Technical, employed by the government of Kenya.
So you're a lecturer?
Yes.
How long have you taught?
Around 8 years.
8 years.
Yes.
Take us through your alcoholic story.
I started drinking alcohol immediately after Form 4. I had a sponsor, and the sponsor, immediately when I finished my high school level, because I had passed highly, and there was a birthday party in her house, so I was invited, and that's how I started drinking. So it was just a by the way thing.
So you started drinking immediately after high school?
Yes, that was in 2006, because I finished in 2005.
So when joining university, maybe, okay, I understand you went to university. So throughout your university life, campus life, it was just drinking spree?
Yes.
So when did the things get worse? Like now to an extent? You went to a rehab?
When I was still in Nairobi, when I was doing my attachment at McKinney School, I used to drink, but not that much. And then I had a girlfriend who was my fiancée. In fact, she's the one who made me to quit working at McKinney. So I wanted to move near her. So immediately when I moved near her, that was in Mumias, she disappointed me because she was also having a scholarship. Unfortunately, I want to believe. I don't know what happened, but finally I realized that she was pregnant and it was not my kid. And from that day, I decided to say that women no, and I decided to marry alcohol. That was in 2014. That's when now I started drinking heavily.
Heavily?
Yes.
So let me take you back. After university, you taught at high school, then went to joint technical
yes.
As a lecturer.
Yes.
Then you were posted at Kakamega.
Yes.
Then you before when you were you got a fiancé. Then you, after high school, you were absorbed by college TSC, posted to Kakamega.
Yes.
Then that's when now you started drinking. Drinking spree started.
Yes, I decided to drink because of disappointment. Because I felt that now, in fact, I was just doing it as a stress reliever. I never knew that it will go beyond the limit where it reached.
So while at Kakamega, how many times will you be drinking, like in a week or daily?
I used to drink daily. In fact, I used to drink changa.
The local brew?
Yes.
Every day?
Yes. Before I go to work, I had to drink. It reached a point whereby without drinking I could not function.
So, how did you discover that this is now too much? To an extent you are taken to rehab, right?
I never discovered until there's a time I was hospitalized for 3 weeks simply because of drinking. Because I could try to quit. So whenever I don't drink, I have the tremors. So due to that, I was willing to quit. But whenever I could not drink, I could not function. I could not even cross the road.
So you had to take something?
I had to take. I couldn't teach without drinking. Completely I couldn't. I couldn't function.
So you could go to class, lecture students while drunk?
I used to wake up at around 6 in the morning. Then where I used to teach, it's called Chams Technical Training Institute. Just within the locality, there are so many places where they sell alcohol. So I used to go, take a glass, go to school. When I've taken alcohol, I used to find, it was like my dopamine. I just feel comfortable once I've taken alcohol. If I'm not taking alcohol, even if I go to teach, I believe that no student will understand whatever I was teaching them. So
you said you got, to an extent you were hospitalized?
Yes.
At some point.
So what happened before I was hospitalized, I used to, in Kakamega, we have these alcohols called Kitoko, Sapphire. They are brought from Uganda. Yes. So I used to carry at least 3 before I go to work.
3 sachets? At least
3. And they were cheaper. They were being sold at 30 shillings.
30 shillings.
So if I have 90, I take my 3. I finish my first lesson, I go back to the office, open 1 sachet, take. I feel I'm okay.
So once
and take note, before taking those ones, I have already taken changa in the morning. So these are now backups.
Hey. So you used to take changa in the morning?
Yes.
Then back up with these sachets?
Yes. They are in my bag and nobody knows that I have them. So that when I feel that now the alcoholic level in my blood has gone down, just go take 1, drink.
Then go to class.
Then I go to class. And on Fridays, I never used to have any lesson.
Free.
I even told my HOD, if you put me in a lesson for Friday, I will not come. That one they knew. I will not come.
So they knew that your drinking program, starts on Friday?
Even currently, on Thursday I don't have a class. On Friday I have a class until 12. Put me after 12, I will not come.
Well, so I still don't understand how you got yourself in hospital. Tell us.
So what happened, there's a time I tried quitting alcohol. I was making a mistake. Because for you to quit, it should be gradual.
Yeah.
It should be gradual. And then unfortunately by that time I had no money. So there was no alcohol. I don't have money. All of a sudden, it was around 11 at night. I could not breathe.
Why?
Because I had not taken alcohol.
Oh yeah. So your body is not well functioning?
Yes. So fortunately I had a motorbike, so my neighbors rushed me to a hospital. Then I was admitted there. In fact, by that time I was dying because I could not breathe. They tried.
You used to live alone, stay alone.
No, I had a, let me just say,
Okay.
a girlfriend. So in fact, she's the one who assisted me, took me to the hospital in Malaba. So when I was taken to the hospital, I was injected easy piles of match. 3. I was not coming back to life.
3 piles of water in your body.
I was not coming back to life. So they tried their best. I was stabilized. Then I was taken now to a ward. I was admitted. So after 3 days, my neighbor died. So I was afraid. So what I did.
Was he or she also
No, I think he had some heart problems. So what happened, when I saw the individual dying in the morning, I pretended that I'm okay. So do you know what I told the doctor? And in fact, the doctor was also my friend. So I called the doctor and told him, I pretended that I am now stable. Because I never wanted now to be in the hospital. So I was discharged. The very, very day I was discharged, the doctor prescribed for me that I should be taking at least 2 beers in a day.
2 beers in a day?
Yes, and I should not take spirit. So the very, very day when I went back, immediately from the hospital, nikatafuta bar yenye karibu.
The nearest pub?
Yes, because I was still having tremors. By that time, they have already prescribed drugs for me, Thamine and others. I went to the club. Instead of taking a beer, I took a keg, black keg, 2 cups. I was very stable. Then I went back to the house. Then I decided to go to the barber shop to shave. In the process when I was being shaved, I could not breathe again.
After taking this cake?
Yes. There and there, I was again rushed to the hospital. Now I was admitted for 3 weeks. The same bed that the individual died, with the oxygen that he was using, not yet removed there, I was taken to the same bed. And I was even willing them to assist me with that oxygen because I could not breathe. Suddenly there's a certain drug, I don't know what it's called, so I was injected that. I came back to life. So after 3 weeks, I think my girlfriend had already informed my parents and brothers that I'm not in a good state. I was transferred to another hospital. So when I went to another hospital, do you know what happened? Because I could not breathe, they had to use some pipes.
To insert in your...
Yes.
In your body?
Yes, inside the stomach. 1 liter of fresh cake was removed. After 3 weeks, digestion was not taking place. So my brothers instructed the doctor that I should not be disturbed. So after 3 days, I just saw my brother coming. So they never knew that I was being taken to a rehab.
You saw him coming to hospital?
Yes. Came, took me to Eldoret. They had already booked a flight. They had already made all the arrangements. I was flown to Nairobi. I was taken to Chiromo Medical Center.
Yeah, at Westlands.
Yes. I was admitted there for 3 weeks. Detox. After 3 weeks, I thought I was being discharged.
So, wait. You are here at Chiromo. Then
I'm there for 3 weeks thinking that I'm being discharged.
Discharged.
And take note, in these places, drugs are sneaked in. So it's you to be disciplined.
At Chiromo there?
All the
rehab,
all the detox center, there are alcohol. So what we used to do, you take a little bit, you feel you are stable. The doctors don't know that you are taking alcohol.
But
so after 3 weeks, I was taken to the retreat in Limuru, and I stayed there for 3 months.
Limuru?
Yes.
That's now a rehab?
Yes.
You are from
the detox
center?
From a medical center, now to Limuru.
Rehab now?
Thinking that I'm going home, kumbe they are taking me to the rehab. There I stayed for 90 days. After 90 days, I was discharged. I was very healthy.
3 good months.
3 good months. I was very healthy. Take note, by that time I was still working in Kakamega. I had not come to Nairobi.
Still a lecturer in Kakamega?
Yes. It's very good because the government understands that alcoholism is a disease. So in fact, I used my insurance. They cut out my NHIF, it's comprehensive, so that's what cut out for the bill. The very day I left.
How much was the bill?
It was around, I paid around 360,000 for 3 months. And then for detox it was around 179,000 for 3 weeks. So my first treatment took over $500,000.
Over $500,000?
Yes. When I was discharged.
That's $5,000.
When I was discharged, I never took alcohol for around 1.5 months. And then I don't know what happened. I met a friend. So they told me.
That's after rehab?
Yes.
You are now discharged?
Yes.
Then you meet a friend?
Yes. And now this friend tells me that guarana is better. Don't take spirit. And he buys me.
This was after how long? After discharge?
After around 1.5 months.
1.5 months, then you meet a friend.
When I took the first glass of guarana, that's how I started drinking again.
Because you felt, after your friend convincing you that the guarana is sweet, it will not affect you, alcoholic.
That's how again I started drinking again. Then come January, that was in 2019. Now 2020, I went back to Kakamega. I had already applied for a transfer to come to Nairobi, and my doctor, I give a lot of thanks to him, Dr. Gatere, from Chiromo, and Dr. Frank Jenga, and Dr. Witt. They wrote a recommendation that I should be transferred to Nairobi so that I can access my doctor for drugs.
From Kakamega now?
Yes. That's how I got my transfer.
To Nairobi?
Yes. So when I came to Nairobi, from Guarana, I went to Guinness. From Guinness, I went back to my normal wines and spirits now.
The dry liquor?
Yes. Then by that time now, my transfer letterhead was now out.
To Nairobi?
Yes. So now I had come to PC Kinyanjui Technical. Then Corona came. Now we were too idle. And money was there.
During Corona?
Yes. You are paid salary, you don't go to work. What do you do in the house? Again, alcohol became my wife.
Where?
Now it was drinking. I don't know how my brother traced me. I think they realized that now again I have started drinking heavily. he had some friends who are DCI,
Mm-hmm.
called Mr. Watch.
Your brother?
Yes. So they just saw 3 people coming, parking 2 vehicles. They called me. I was drinking Hunters by that time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I was in Mayas. I don't know if you know Mayas, here Kawangware.
Down there, I know. On our way, Naivasha Road, yeah?
Yes. So, I never knew that they were taking me back to the rehab again.
The second time?
Yes. I was taken to the vehicle. They told me they want to know where I stay. I took them. In fact, that day I got lost. It is my house and I cannot trace my house.
So they took you to your house?
Yes.
This year?
And before we arrived in my house, I had to call a caretaker to give me direction to my house because I had taken a lot of alcohol. Immediately went to the house. Now this friend of my brother told me that your brother wants you to visit him so that you can stay there for 1 week. There are certain discussions that you're supposed to make. I agreed. They told me, take a few clothes. So I packed, took my bag, entered into the vehicle. The next time when I was waking in the morning, I found myself in rehab.
Where now? The same place?
No. Now my brother decided to take me to a different rehab, but still in Limuru. So when I reached the rehab, I called him. So we negotiated. He told me that we are just staying there for 1 month. 1 month elapses. Nobody is coming for me. And take note, I am supposed to be in school. 2nd month, 3rd month.
In rehab again?
Yes.
3 good months in rehab?
Yes. So the very day, the 19th day, Ilipofika, I called my brother. I told him to send me there because he had some commitments. And then I lied to him that there are certain drugs that I needed and they were costing 7,000. So he sent me 8,000. When I was discharged, my first stop was Mayas.
The same pub that you were caught for?
Alcohol, yes, alcohol after alcohol. Alcohol after alcohol. The following day, I go to the account, check the balance. See, there are around 600,000. Nikatoa 50,000. Back to the club. In 2 days, nilikuwa nimekunywa 50,000.
You took alcohol worth 50,000 2 days?
2 days.
How did you manage to do that?
I think maybe I was just buying for friends.
Oh yes, that impulse buying.
By the time I'm going back to the account to get some more money, again the DCI around me. Police station Buruburu.
This time round in police station?
Yes.
Not in rehab?
Yes. Now they're asking me, where is the money? I'm telling them, and you see, they get me when I'm already drunk. I told them, I have taken alcohol. And I told them point blank that I don't want anybody to interfere with my life. And I called my brother and tell him, next time, don't send me policemen, even if they are your friends. Leave my life alone.
Let me ask you, from rehab, you were taken somewhere with your brother, you went to his police station, then to his house. So from there...
Look, we never even met. When the policemen came, they told me, my brother wants to see me. Kumbe I was being arrested because I've taken 50,000.
How much did you spend in a rehab, the second rehab?
90 days.
90 days.
Rehab
How much?
90 days.
How much? The same amount of 300, almost 300.
I think my brother paid over 300,000. And now that one he was paying cash. Meaning if I do my rightful calculations, the 2 rehabs, because of alcohol, I have spent over 1 million.
Over 1 million. Do you still drink?
I quitted.
You quitted.
Yes.
So you are picking up your pieces by struggling.
I am trying.
Struggling addict.
I am trying. As a recovering addict, I am trying. Sometimes I have the feeling to drink. Craving comes. But I try as much as I can so that to avoid friends who can indulge me into drinking. I try as much as possible to avoid clubs.
What can you tell? I know there are people, okay, let me say there are addicts who are still struggling to recover.
One thing I can say, alcoholism or any drug is harmful to your health. Number two, whenever you indulge into drugs, you are counting your days in a negative way.
Any drugs?
Yes, I have so many friends. In fact, there's a friend of mine who was with him in the rehab. The very day he left the rehab, he hanged himself. Simply because he was taken there by force.
Suicide?
Yes. That's how he died. Another thing that I want to say, family members, friends, should always support the addicts. Addiction is a disease, and nobody wants to be an addict.
True.
You just find yourself in that situation.
Okay. And you know, in Kenya, they say that 30% of children raised by the single mothers and their grandparents, they are 3 times more becoming heavy drinkers. What do you say about that?
What I can say is,
because of your
some of these things are inheritance. My father was a drunkard. In our family, everybody drinks, but they drink in control. But me, I realized I cannot take control when it comes to alcoholism. And to any individual who have not started any type of drug, don't try. Don't try. Because the very moment you will try, you start with 1 bottle, the following day you go to the next one. Before you come to be an addict, you will never realize. I used to be told that I'm drinking too much, and I could always say, I know what I'm doing.
Without knowing that you're becoming
Yes.
now, your body is becoming...
And you see, the funny thing is, you cannot see yourself. That other person can see you and tell you, but you cannot see yourself. When you are indulging in something in excess, you will never realize.
Through your experience of being in rehab 2 times, you are a struggle recovering addict, and so what are the mechanism preventive measures that you can tell, or you've seen and learned that if someone applies, you know, there are people there, let me say it's between age of 15 to 60 age, 15 to 60 Kenyans, age of 15 to 60 Kenyans are struggling with alcoholic, and there are so many even young people, especially youth, are sunk into alcoholic. So what are the preventive mechanism measures that you as a victim can tell?
One thing, watch your friends. Be with the right company. If you have a friend who is drinking, avoid. Because sometimes a friend can just tell you, let's go have one for the road. If you give in, that is it. And the bad thing with alcohol is one. The more you take, the more you want.
Yeah.
The more you drink, the more it becomes water. The more you get drunk, the more you feel happy. But the aftermath,
Disaster.
disaster.
Why?
So the only thing that I can say, anybody who is drinking, the family out there who are victims, who are into drugs, encourage these people. Don't neglect them. Support them. Because for me, what I can say that has assisted me is the support group. If it was not for my family, I think I could be dead by now.
True.
I couldn't be alive.
You've been a teacher. You're from a teacher to a lecturer.
Yes.
And in most cases, parents believe or assume that it's only teacher who is supposed to be, looking.
There is something that I want to tell you now. I've never even told my family. When I started drinking again after the second rehab, I had a sport bike and we were drinking with friends.
That's a motorbike.
Yes, I handed the key to a friend to go pick something. I have never seen that key. I have never seen that motorbike. That's how I lost it.
The guy disappeared with a motorbike?
Yes, if it was not for drinking,
you would have lost it.
I couldn't have lost it. I have never even told my family. For them, they think that I sold it. But I lost it because of alcoholism.
Wow.
So, anybody who have not started drinking, don't drink. Don't try. Any drug, don't. The other day, I have a friend who is in Canada. The other day, he decided to send me. He told me that I'll send you something. You can go and have one bottle. When I checked my M-Pesa, he had sent me 8,000 shillings.
8,000 shillings.
When I called him back, he was too drunk. He had sent the sisters a lot of money, the girlfriends a lot of money. He had sent me 8,000. He was not aware that he was doing all this.
Just because of alcoholism?
Yes. So alcoholism can cost somebody so much.
Last words on camera as we wind up, Mr. Frederick. What can you tell new drinkers? There are people who just started drinking. New drinkers and also even the students nowadays.
If you have not started drinking, don't start. If you are drinking, be a social drinker. Avoid friends who drink, because those are part of temptations.
Avoid friends who drink.
Just look at the right company. Once you have the right company, financially, socially, economically, you will be okay. Currently I'm poor, and I'm working with the government because of alcohol.
It brought you back.
I should be driving a very big machine. But why? There are times I could take loan, 2 days, 200,000 finished, and I cannot account for it. I don't know how it got finished.
You told me one time you had a pub.
Yes.
And you drank it down.
It never even went for 3 months.
Before it was closed down.
Yes, and I had invested around 600,000 on it.
Just because of your drinking?
Yes. From work I used to go. The counter person knows where my drink is. Mzinga every day. And mine was special. Jemiso.
And the way it's expensive.
By the end of the month, you cannot see any profit. The employees want you to pay them. You go back into your salary. you need to pay rent, you go back into your salary. So you are doing a minus business because of alcoholism.
So you still lecture, you're still a lecturer?
Yes.
So you stopped the issue of carrying those sachets to class, drinking?
I cannot.
You stopped completely?
The very day I will start.
You'll go back?
Not even going back. I know that will be the end of me. I will die.
Are those instructions from doctor or doctors?
I know. Because I was to die.
Oh yeah.
It's only God.
Okay.
If I was still drinking, I could be normal.
Yeah, true.
I could, because imagine, I quitted work. I told you there's a time I was interdicted. Because I left the institution and told the principal that kindly write a letter of interdiction to me.
That's now way back in high school.
Yes.
When you're still a high school teacher.
Yes, and I told him I am no longer, yes, I am no longer coming to work in this institution again. You know, when you are under influence, you can do anything without caring.
True.
And I went home. They looked for me, and I told them I'm not coming back.
You went for good?
That's how I went. All my household, I was staying in the institution, I left them there. I have never gone back for them. And now that's 6 years since I left high school to college.
So, do you still drink little or you stopped completely?
I decided to stop completely.
That's good.
I decided to stop completely because I have seen the harm that alcohol has done to my life.
Yeah, yeah.
What I've gone through, I've gone through a lot.
There are people outside there. You know, some people drink because of depression. People are going through, different types of lives, stress, and the way things are now in current economy is just, a mess. What can you tell them before people understand?
For my case, when I went to the hospital, my doctor realized that we have different depressions. So me, I was diagnosed with something called ADHD, and then natural depression. There are certain depressions they just come naturally. But currently I'm under drugs. And you see, if you decide to use drug as a stress reliever or antidepressant, drugs are antidepressants. But if you use them, it's short term. Because after a few hours, you still find yourself
Back to
the same state that you are in. So the only thing I can tell people, don't use drugs because of depression. There are so many alternatives that people can use. Like me currently, I'm using antidepressants, which are legally prescribed by the doctor.
Yeah.
And then finally, what I want to say, family, support group, support those people who are into drugs because it is a disease. Nobody goes into drugs because they want. No. It's a disease.
It's a disease.
It's a disease. And then I also want to give thanks to my brother Daniel Odhiambo. If it were not for him, I could be dead. He rescued my life.
Well, heavy story there, viewers. I hope someone is learning something or someone has learned something. It's been a very, very touching interview that I've ever done since I started holding, different guests. This one is so unique. So guys, I hope you've learned something. If you're new there, maybe the first time watching, maybe you just join us in this interview, consider subscribing the channel, Davy Chams. Like, watch and share. Bro, yes. Thank you so much for honoring coming to my show, and we wish you well in your journey of recovering from the addict.